Well, I'm American, but I was born in Saudi, and that sort of makes me Saudi. But I'm not really Saudi, but I kind of feel like I'm Saudi.
The first day we went to the souk to buy abaya. I was like, okay. And the second day, I put my abaya on, and I was really thinking like, what did I do wrong in my life that I have to cover myself?
I guess some people have a problem, why did you become a Muslim, why did you leave America? Something must be wrong with you or something,
Why is everyone dressed so funny? Why are the women wearing all black? Why are the men wearing all white? I couldn't understand that.
She said, if I were you, I would not even get on the plane. And that, scared me, just before I was ready to get on the plane.
My friends are kind of like aghast, like, okay, why are you doing all this? What's up? What are you doing this for? So they're kind of suspicious of my behavior. Maybe I want to borrow something from them.
My name is Vilma Samolonyte, and I'm from Lithuania. I'm 33 years old, and I'm working as a photographer right now in Saudi Arabia. I was not so much deep into this region. I started to read, and it's like, wow, Saudi Arabia is a kingdom, the Riyadh, the capital, and Sharia law, and all these things. And I met some people who lived before in Saudi Arabia. I knew things like, but when you know things and when you really have to face them, it's two different things. Gal galėsim kažkada pavažiuoti. Tada jis yra, supranti, yra akių ligonė, paskui yra plotai, niekas. Paskui užsuki. Sukteiba. Ką? What?
Sukteiba.
Sukteiba, please, yes. Just let us out somewhere here in the parking by the Golden Souk maybe or something, and we will go by ourselves. When I told to my mom, Mom, there is a big opportunity for me, to start my professional career this way. My mom said, let me think, let me read. So she went online, she said, Vilma, but this region is not really recommended for women. I said, I know, but I will be safe there because I know the conditions where I'm going. My mom said, yes, okay.
My name is Nora Washington, and I'm from Liberty, New York. I'm a lecturer here in Saudi Arabia at Prince Sultan University. I've been here for 5 years. I have 6 children, mashallah. I moved to Saudi Arabia primarily to fulfill a lifelong dream. We've been trying to get to Saudi Arabia for many, many years. Initially, we wanted to live in Medina because, of course, all the benefits of living in Medina, being close to Mecca.
احنا كنا عايشين في امريكا وانا ولدت في نيويورك. بعدين رحنا الى دبي وعشت هناك 3 سنين. بعدين احنا رحنا الرياض وعشت هنا 6 سنين.
Look to the dunes to see our symphony. In each grain you will find our psalms. And so we create for tomorrow a new day.
My name's Todd Albert Nims. I was born and raised out here, born in Dahran Hospital. And my father and mother stayed here, my father working for Aramco our whole lives, other than a brief period from 85 to 90. So we left and we came back in 90, right before the Gulf War started. And in fact, after about 4 months of being back here, my mother, brother, and I had to evacuate back to the U.S., which was a very interesting story because at that age, coming back and being in the middle of such a worldwide conflict, I think really opened my eyes. I wanted to come back to change the movie industry and to be involved, show something creative can come from the youth here in that industry. And so I was invited by Prince Turki Al Faisal to come back and screen my first film.
My name is Curtis Massenberg. I'm from Raleigh, North Carolina, United States of America, American citizen. I'm 38 years old and I've been in Saudi Arabia for 11 years. Right now I'm working as a consultant for supply chain and information technology. So I joined the U.S. Army in 1990 as a computer repairman and messaging systems. At this time, I was ranked as the #1 signal soldier in the U.S. Army. So this is me receiving an award, and this is the medal. If you look here, this is the medal that they gave me for receiving this. I remember studying in school. We weren't really exposed to Islam or the Saudis or any of the Arabs as in general. So what happened was I met a Saudi who came for class. You know, we became very good friends. So he said, "How do you feel about going to Saudi Arabia?" And I thought he was joking because, you know, as a new Muslim, one of your dreams is to go to Saudi Arabia so that you can go to Mecca, Medina. So he said, "Give me your resume tomorrow." I gave him my resume. And then after some time, they called me on the phone. They said, "Hey, this is from such and such company, and we want to hire you for the job." I got out of the military January 7, 2000. January 17th, I was flying to Saudi Arabia.
My name is Elizabeth, and I'm a mother of 3 children. My family was traditional because my father was from Italy, and my mother also was traditional. She came from a small town in Minnesota. So I grew up with a traditional, semi-conservative family. I grew up in Denver, Colorado. I didn't really know about Saudi Arabia or the Arab culture until way into my college years. That came after I got married, and I had to do some research on Saudi, which was difficult at the time because there was very little written about Saudi Arabia. I met my husband in university through friends.
درست بأمريكا في ال early 80s، فتعرفت على إليزابيث في أحد الاجتماعات، وحسيت إنها إنسانة مختلفة عن يعني المجتمع بصفة عامة. يعني once you commit, you need it's not a short time commitment, it's a long term commitment. So she's quite right in saying that she was concerned about the children, the upbringing of the children, raising the children in a homogeneous environment, and she did a good job in understanding Islam and reading and making herself very comfortable about it, alhamdulillah.
My name's Anthony Mo. I'm half Nigerian, half American. I'm 27 years old. I'm running a business here in Saudi Arabia, here in Riyadh actually, an advertising agency. We just got it started this year, alhamdulillah. I first came to Riyadh, Saudi Arabia back in 1993. I was 8 years old. I moved to Riyadh with my whole family, my dad, my mom, and my 2 little sisters. She worked in Saudi Arabia as the secretary to the ambassador. And then in 1999, I moved back to the USA to finish my studies, finish school. And in 2004, I decided to come back to Saudi Arabia. I decided to come back because for me, I felt Saudi was, it was home. I felt it was home. You know, I still had family here, and I have a lot of friends in Saudi Arabia. So I just felt that I would be better adjusted to work and live in Saudi Arabia.
Some people would say, how can you trust somebody and move to their country? And I say to them, how can you trust somebody and have children with them to begin with? I mean, children are, if you have children with somebody, that's of far more significance than moving to someone's country.
Like the way I lived first time in Al Hammam, you know, it's really like when I arrived, I photographed the window. Yeah, it's like matte glass. You open the matte glass, it's a bars, like in the jail. I was like, what? Where I am, why? Until you understand what is the female housing, what means the guy downstairs who opens and closes the door. At first I didn't have a key from the front door. I was like, what is this country? It was, first few months was harsh.
When I first came to Saudi Arabia, I was just really, really amazed at how the children respect their parents. Okay, and just how, the grandfather or the grandmother, or the treatment that they get, the treatment that the mother gets, the respect that they get. This is just something that's missing from Western society, because kids are not respectful, in the Western society. I mean, they will raise their voice louder than their mother. Some kids will even hit their mother. Some kids will, it's just a totally different world. So one of the things that I try to take back, and that I try to go and present in America, is the system of family.
But coming here, subhanAllah, you come in and the welcome is just really overwhelming. You really feel like you are welcomed, and that this person is showing you so much love, and they go out of their way to prepare lavish meals for you, and they're making sure that you eat, and making sure that your coffee is always filled. And in the States, it's like, well, if you want something, you can go to the kitchen and get it yourself. So that's something that I really appreciate. I take that back, with me when I go home, and I'm like that now in America. I'm always serving, and my friends are kind of like aghast, like, okay, why are you doing all this? What's up? What are you doing this for? So they're kind of suspicious of my behavior. Maybe I want to borrow something from them, but it's not. It's just that this culture of serving and generosity has also become a part of me.
مرة الأكل لذيذ.
What does that mean?
The food is really delicious.
شكرا.
عفوا.
I try to be super nice, serve my mother, even though I'm a guest coming back to visit her. Serve my mother. My wife cooks for my mother. My kids, they a lot of respect, because this is one of those things that you can't. In the West, you can't really see it as a Muslim. But when you come and you live with the Muslims and you see these things, then you can extract these things. This is why it's important to live with the Muslims. You can see, okay, because I can read a book, but I don't know that, hey, go and kiss your grandfather on the forehead. The way to be respectful.
And it was nice. We just got off and we walked into the Haram, and it was really beautiful. It was very peaceful, and I was just amazed that I was actually there. Something that I'd read about and something I had seen in books, and then I was actually there. It was very moving for me. It goes back thousands of years to Abraham, peace be upon him, and so that was very special. I felt like I was in the oldest place in the world.
When I arrived to Saudi Arabia, I was really shocked. As a kid, I was shocked. It was very different. I remember coming into the airport and asking my mom, why is everyone dressed so funny? Why are the women wearing all black? Why are the men wearing all white? I couldn't understand that this was an entirely different culture and an entirely different environment.
It wasn't a culture shock because I was preparing for it. It was nothing was really a culture shock here. Just the driving when I first came, boy, that was a culture shock. Because before they got the system of cameras, driving here was like, it was like, okay, Russian roulette. Put the bullet in the gun and stick it to your head and pull the trigger, because they were driving crazy. But now that's improved.
Just way out in the sand dunes. I drove outside of Riyadh. They have these beautiful red sand dunes, and I just drove our car a little bit on the sand.
So the first day we went to the souk to buy abaya. I was like, okay. And the second day, I put my abaya on, and I was really thinking like, what did I do wrong in my life that I have to cover myself, But that thing, I think it's like automatically you think like this as a person who didn't grow up and don't know so much about here. After that, these things is not a question, it doesn't bother anymore.
In this country, if you try to be a defensive driver, you'll get into an accident. You kind of have to be offensive. You have to just drive like everybody else. I think that's where I really the inner Saudi in me starts to come out. Especially if I go to the desert, dune buggying. This is just something that I absolutely love to do here. It's something it's something you can't really do in the States.
Part of Saudi Arabia for me. It's getting on one of these things, man. Once you get on it, it's pure adrenaline. It's amazing. I absolutely love it, man. Indefinitely. Start time. I want to go.
Do you know the place? After you, yeah. We're going to go eat breakfast, my treat.
I'll say fast food, no.
No, absolutely not. The healthy stuff. Healthy stuff. My driving club's on here. I don't know, someplace it's good. Yeah. So my best friend here has become Ali Keltami, who I met at Al Arabiya Station. And he is a Saudi that's from the south originally, from the Asir region. He's grown up in Riyadh his whole life. We got along. We hit it off right off the bat from having a similar sense of humor. And since that time, we've done a lot of work together, like Almost and La Yakhtar and or Takriban is Almost. Do a little of this. Yeah. Shwaya? Okay.
Todd is really like a good friend of mine. I've known him for five years. Todd? 5 years. We've been friends, really good friends. We click so much. We understand each other. It's like really having a brother.
I met Todd at an audition for this show called Almost, and I don't know, he liked what I did, and pretty much it just went from there.
Let's do it again. There's the bottle opener. There's the great big bottle opener. Oh yeah.
I guess it's a good advantage, I would say, for Saudi and for America, because he could be like a great mouthpiece for the Americans in America, and for people to see, there's like Americans here.
What's up? I'd be like, yeah, there's a reverse. I'd be like, ah, and then I'd turn to the camera and be like, ah.
Well, I'll have more exposure. Like, what he is listening to? Oh my God!
And so he's kind of walking the opposite line that I do, and he's kind of got this insight that he walks, and I think he gets, he releases a lot of, he has his unique perspectives. We're all not really a little bit not normal, and I think we sort of let go of the friction and stress of that by sort of comedy and getting creative. So I like that about Khalid and how he's sort of dealt with that. He's sort of the flip side to me. And Ali also, even though he grew up here in Riyadh, he's originally from Namas, and other than him having an iPhone and FJ like I do, I've always, immediately what I noticed about Ali and I is that we clicked right away, just humorous and everything like that. And he also, I feel like, grew up between cultures.
And then when we move to storage, when we move to receiving, let them attend as well so that they can get more and more reinforcement. Because, you know, learning by repetition is one of the best ways to learn. So most of the time I'm either going directly to the customer site and I'm spending the time with the customer, you know, because I provide the customer with a schedule of what is going to be done. So it doesn't require, the company here is very flexible with me. They understand and they trust that I'm going to do, you know, what I should do. And as long as I bring in the paychecks, they don't really care, you know.
من أول كنا عايشين في الخبر وجينا هنا قعدنا سنتين بعد كده رحت أنا أدرس في أمريكا فوالله أحس براحة هنا لما أجي هنا مرة أرتاح إنه يعني كده has a nice atmosphere كده في جو موجود في جدة مو موجود في حال ثاني.
هو صعب شوية بس you can't really identify with anybody. Like I feel I only identify with people who are exactly like me, half Saudi, half American, because they have the background of both worlds, but like they have like the open-minded sense, but then the Islamic basics.
I think, of course, I feel more comfortable with my American friends, but I do have Saudi friends. And with my Saudi women friends, alhamdulillah, we have a lot of, you know, good times together, and the friendship is there. But the ladies also that I'm really close to, I work with them. Our kids are the same ages, and you know, things like that.
عندي أصحاب في مدرسة كلهم سعوديين وعندي أصحاب أمريكيين عشان أنا من أمريكا يقولون نكلم عربي أقول طيب أكلم عربي يقولون ما شاء الله يعني ما يعرفون أني أكلم عربي يعني من أمريكا.
I have more friends in Saudi Arabia, but they're still Americans. Some of them are from California and some of them are from New York. My Saudi friends are Muslim, of course, and they're like 13 or 14, but Americans, because I can communicate with them more because they speak English.
So I would have to have taken her out, but my school was only going to pay one time. So I decided to let her finish and then enroll after September.
We need to put Muhammad to school too.
Muhammad at 4?
Go to school. Yeah, and Philip also needs to go to school.
But I want to put them in a local school here, closer. You want to put them in the same school?
Suhaila.
Yes?
Suhaila, did you guys buy more sand?
No. We don't have team.
أصحابي أكثرهم مو سعوديين عرب يعني سوريين أكثر سوريين ولبنانيين يعني الشاميين هناك وأرتاح مع السعوديين يعني العرب أكثر والبريطانيين بس.
والله يعني it doesn't matter where you go. All that matters is the people you're with. عارف يعني ممكن تروح فين إيطاليا فرنسا أهم شيء الناس اللي معك يكونوا يعني people you have fun with. يعني تقدر تروح فين تقدر تروح أمريكا وتطفش لو ما عندك أحد تقعد معهم عرفت كيف؟ وغير كده هنا there's my family وزي كده في برضو besides direct family في كمان my cousins وزي كده كلهم هنا في جدة وقريبين يعني كده من أبو دقيقتين أوصل لهم.
Hossam's a lovely guy. I met Hossam in 2005. In 2005 through a couple of other friends that I have. And he's really an amazing guy. I mean, we really didn't become really close friends until I actually came back to Saudi Arabia last year. Sorry, not to Saudi, but when I came back to Riyadh.
I know, that's one thing I always liked about the friendships that you make here. Yeah. Is that you feel like it's more of a closer knitted friendship.
Exactly.
Where you guys have like more of like a common bond. You know, it's like an old school style friendship that other parts of the world you'd say doesn't exist as much.
Whenever I go anywhere in Saudi Arabia, it's dates, qahwa, and all the time tea.
all the time, shy. Anywhere you go, shy. But honestly, no, you're right. At the end of the day, Saudis love foreigners. They love foreigners in this country, and they show that in every day when you see them, you know? I mean, they have a lot of respect for foreigners here.
First couple years, I was newlywed, I was a new Muslim, I was a new mother, in a new culture, having to learn a new language, cooking, the traditions, the etiquette, everything was different. So it took me more like four or 5 years to get used to Saudi Arabia.
Cookie. Do you play with the cat? What's the cat name?
Cookie.
With the girls, never really a problem. They were able to adjust because they were young, and the boys, it was a war from day one. It was a battle almost daily. Because you know, being the American kids in an Arabic school, because they were going to the government schools. So being an American, you just stick out, you know. So my kids, they came home with battle scars and fight reports every day, almost every day.
And I went to school there. Yeah, it was a lot of fights because I was different. I was the only person different, me and my little brother. And I got used to it, that's it.
And at this time, I guess George Bush kind of helped cause a lot of these problems, because my kids always come home. He called me Bush, you know. So I guess Bush helped out a lot too. Since Obama's been in, you know, everything's been a little bit calmer, but yeah. So.
Yeah, I used to have a couple of fights with the neighborhood kids with me and Ismail when we were here, because they started like making fun of us, how we talked and whatnot. They kept on like, when we walked around places, they started like yelling names at us and whatnot, so we got like tired of it, so it turned into a big fight. Now it's over and we're friends with them. And only in the bad parts of Saudi Arabia.
No, who won?
Uh-oh, I think we won. I think.
Hello, Tony speaking. Hi. Yes. I'm doing good, Aladdin. How you doing, man? Fine? Being somewhat attached to the country, you know, learning how to adapt and live here, this is what brings me back. And this is why I enjoy my time here.
To come to Saudi Arabia for me was the first time in Middle East or in any Arab country. You know, here is like in the city, suddenly you have like a space, free opening, you know, and then again another district. Or like when you go to desert, I love desert. It's so, you know, a lot of everything, like, you know, it's like lot the distances, and then you see the camels coming. I mean, maybe it's a little bit romantic, you know, for me, like it's because I never saw that before when I came.
Because of all the limitations that you have here, you end up doing one thing. You save so much money here. You save a lot of money, which allows you to really get out and travel. And the type of life that is within the Western community here, the expat community, is quite normal, actually. I mean, that's the whole purpose of the compounds. So they do give us our ability to live a normal life here.
I liked that Well, I met the family too. I met his sister, I met his family. I could see that they were very family oriented, and they really cared for their mother a lot. We're very happy to have her, and that impressed me.
Elizabeth أو Lisa يعني as we call her here at home يعني Lisa is a very adaptable person ما شاء الله. يعني Lisa ما شاء الله she does a good job in maintaining also Saudi traditions in the house. يعني في رمضان we يعني do a lot of things in a typical Saudi way. But we were very keen to introduce both cultures evenly and equally. Well, this what makes the marriage successful, or make life successful.
What I think everyone should know about Saudi Arabia outside of this country, even within this country, is that there is a lot of creativity. It's such a great thing to be able to see them for who they are, because they have a great sense of humor, and they're very genuine and loving people.
It rhymes. Think about it.
What?
It rhymes.
Salad?
Salad and wall.
Salad and khalid.
Getting some sushi.
Do you want to visit Mansour Jabati?
Okay, one of the things that foreigners might like or dislike here, I can tell you that things are different here than other places. There's prayer times, and places shut down during prayer time. A lot of people might not like that. I like it in some ways. Sometimes I like it, and sometimes I don't. There's times when I like that and I don't. I find here in Saudi, people take the time to breathe in life, as opposed to sometimes when I'm in other places, there's a little more go, and there's never a chance to just sit and just enjoy conversation, which I find a lot of the people here in general, the culture is like that here.
الحمد لله الذي أنزل على عبده الكتاب ولم يجعل له عوجا. All the praises and thanks be to Allah, who has sent down to his slave Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam the book, the Quran, and has not placed therein any crookedness.
We narrate you, O Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, their story with truth, truly that they were young men who believed in our Lord Allah, and we increased them in guidance.
We were coming here, we wanted to be around the Muslims, we wanted to just, settle down. We were really thinking about the people and what type of people we wanted to raise our children around, what type of people and what type of environment we wanted to be around. We wanted to be in an environment where there were lots of masajid, so that the remembrance of the salah was something that was constant around people who, I always feel that here I'm safe if something happens, alhamdulillah, that people will always be there to help you. And I think that my kids, they really can have the best of both worlds. They're not missing out on amusement parks. They're not missing out on any of the things that really any average American kid will have. But then when it's the time for the salah, they can stop all that and they can pray, and no one's looking at them weird.
The next place we are going to with my sister, I think next weekend we are going to Jeddah for a few days. We were planning to go to Madain Saleh. A little bit impossible because of the school holidays and busy schedules of the tour guides and everything. So I decided that maybe we'll go to Jeddah, maybe we'll do some diving, maybe some desert driving around Riyadh.
In Saudi Arabia, I prefer shawarma. In America, I like pizza.
No, I love Pakistani food. I love Lebanese food. So, as far as the food, there's no loss there. As a matter of fact, the loss is when I go back to America that I won't have this. I want kapsa. You won't have kapsa. You won't have this.
I absolutely love kapsa. This, for me, is the best type of rice. There's kapsa and you have mendi, right? And for me, mendi rice is the best.
This is the best place to eat. If you want to eat good in Saudi Arabia. Most definitely. Look at this, I have the proof.
I love the way Saudi food tastes. especially the grilled kebabs, all of the Arabic food, really, actually, I really like it. I grew up eating these foods as a kid, and still till today, I still love eating them very much.
You are in the background.
I noticed, I think there's a lot of misperceptions about the women here in particular. Definitely about Saudis in general, but also about the women. When I actually find them, when you actually meet the Saudi women here, if you have the privilege of meeting them, I find them to be some of the more intelligent, more driven, and sophisticated people I've met, women I've met, so not just people, women I've met, than I've met in many other countries that I've been to.
And Saudi girls, I feel like they're very trustworthy. You can really trust them. And I feel like they won't ever hurt you. They're not, I mean, Western girls, you always have a sense of, you don't know how true of a friend she really is. But with Saudi girls, I always sense there's like comfort, immediate comfort. There's genuine people.
We go to places like tennis and like the istiraha. It's like from a men's side and a women's side. It's like the women, they can uncover and go swimming. Most of the sports, it's got places for ladies to go, and they got like carnivals and only for ladies. Most of the carnivals here are for ladies. It's like they got malls for ladies, malls for families. It's like you don't have to think that's like no places for ladies here. It's always places anywhere. You just have to look around.
But I feel very privileged. Like when I'm in the States, you're still special. You're still a Saudi. But when I'm here, even though I'm Saudi, they take me as almost as somewhat of a foreigner.
ما أحب لما السعوديون يقلدون الأمريكيين. ما أحب كذا أنا. يعني ليش يقلدونهم؟ يعني عندهم حقهم هم عندهم حقهم.
الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. استغفر الله استغفر الله استغفر الله. أبي
We prefer to think of ourselves as, Muslims first, and then Americans second. And of course, we love the Arabic culture. We love the culture that's associated with the Arabs. Not every single thing about it, but for the positive things that we mentioned, we like that, and we what we identify as good, we adopt it.
Always, I think any place to go to the world, and especially if you stay there for living, something stays with you. I think I have a word khalas, which I will take with me for sure. But okay, however pathetic maybe it sounds, but I think I don't know how to say it physically what I will take, but I think some understanding.
But tell me, people for shapka buy these kind of things? Zirconia or diamonds?
Shapka.
I'm just wondering.
Yes.
They buy zirconia or diamonds?
Not zirconia.
Nah.
Yes.
Really? They buy? Oh man, I'm disappointed. If I want to have a husband, I don't want zirconia, I want the diamonds. No fake.
Where from? What country?
Lithuania.
Lithuania? Oh, Scandinavia.
Something close to that. Something close to that. Yes.
When I look back at what me living in Saudi Arabia has meant to me it's my home, and I think this being my home, I feel proud of. It's helped shape who I am. I think a lot of the environment I grew up in, there was a lot of tolerance and a lot of understanding between cultures. And I think the hospitality that was shown to me during my life by the Saudis and also by the other expatriates, and I think that has rubbed off on a lot of the other expatriates here. And the sense of family, because everyone here, the expatriate community, everyone's away from home. So your friends become your family. Your neighbors become your family. So those things all helped shape my sense of community, and I think that's important to have. I don't know if everyone has that growing up.
Hello. All the translation mics work fine. Kapsa, kapsa. Shawarma, shawarma. Falafel, falafel. Little song I'm making. You don't always have those kind of meetings. So there's a lot of young energy, and it's a great opportunity, I think, to share ideas with other youth as well as with leaders, local leaders. Again, how Saudis see themselves. I think that's really the most important thing that really is we all are kind of exploring in ourselves, what is our culture? Where exactly do we fit? And I think a lot of us are sort of between cultures.
Yeah, that's the real identity. It's where you've really grown up, where you have all your good memories in life, honestly. I mean, that's where you would always refer to home, you know. For me, I grew up in Saudi.
The biggest thing about my identity is probably my beard. Okay, this is the biggest thing that has changed. My mentality as far as I believe in Allah, I believe in Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, peace be upon him. I believe in, you know, the having to pray. I believe in all of these things, and I try to practice it, you know, to the best of my ability. But it doesn't change who I am, and you know, that I'm still an intelligent person, that I still have a personality. These things don't change when you become a Muslim. You know, you don't become some, you know, grouchy person or anything. No, I'm still the same person. But you know, I just look a little different. But my personality and my way of dealing with people, I still try to treat people, you know, I try to be the best Muslim that I can, because I want to be a good representative.
You know, I love to use Arabic when I'm shopping. I love going to the souk and haggling and getting the price down with the merchants. That's something I like. It reminds me of the old times. You can't do that in Dubai, you can't do that in a lot of countries, but here in Saudi you can still talk to the merchants and get them to lower the price and work with them. So that's, and even in the gold souk, that's my favorite. No, the men, after I speak to them, the gold, a merchant, he said to me, he said, "Inti marra nashfa," you know, you heard. I wouldn't let go. I wouldn't stop. So I asked my husband what that meant.
Okay, this poem that I wrote a couple years ago, it's called "I Ran Away from the Land of the Free." In America, the land of the free, people would pass by me, would often look twice so as not to imply that they thought this dress, this getup, this cloak, was really for real and not some big joke. In America, the land of the free, people would often come up to me, step up to me, in my face uncomfortably, to investigate me. No, not me. Only my clothes is what they'd see.
The one thing is that really bothers me is maybe the nationalistic overtone that comes from the different Arabs, you know. And because what happens is you tend to close doors on other people, you know, and look at me, what am I? You know, I'm a Muslim. Sometimes I feel like I'm a Muslim without a home, you know, because, you know, I'm not an Arab, I'm not Saudi, you know, but I'm a Muslim, and I want to be with my brothers, I want to live with my brothers.
عبد القوي أحس إنه ما يفكر في العنصرية كما يعني يفكر فيها كسعوديين أو كعرب موجودين في المملكة. ينظر للمسلم بغض النظر عن انتمائه أو المذهب الذي يعتنقه، ولم تؤثر عليه الأمور الأخرى السياسية. الشخصية اللي بنيتها أنا في فكري عن المسلمين أو الصحابة والتابعين أجدها في هذا الإنسان، لأنه اقتنع في الإسلام كديانة من فكر وواقع، وليس أنه ولد وهو مسلم.
It can be a good idea probably to photograph your own country and make this is the reality what I'm living in, you know, the Saudi Arabia, I'm coming back to Lithuania. But I'm recording the sounds of Riyadh. Like the first time I came back from Riyadh, I was really regretting I didn't have a recorder. Like, you know, for example, when there is like a call for prayer is going and you have this cacophony of all imams and all mosques, you know, going around, I love it.
And this story is just about a little boy and how he meets friends and he has a camel. الولد اللي على الجمل هذا أمين، يعني هذا اللي اسمه أمين، فيعني حبيت يكون شوية يشبه أخويا في نفس الوقت.
Yeah, I'd like to go to college in America, learn English, then I'd like to come back to Saudi Arabia and teach English to the people who don't know English that well. Because my mom's a teacher and I like the teaching. I'm helping people learn English so they can communicate with other people in English.
I don't have any plans of going back to America, even though, alhamdulillah, the option is open. This is where we would like to stay. As my children grow up and they're leaving the house, they're all going to college, probably in the States or in other countries, I still see them coming back and making their home in Saudi Arabia as well.
I imagine I'll stay in this part of the world for the rest of my life because I don't. I'll stay wherever my kids end up staying.
يعني I don't know where I would be بس يعني I can imagine إنه I would study there for يعني university بس I'm pretty sure إنه أرجع هنا. I'm pretty sure ولا يمكن هنا ولا دول الخليج شيء زي كذا دبي anything يعني.
I feel this is a very good place to be in terms of business. So in terms of actually business and a personal life, I'll be living here for a very long time.
Of course, we want our sons to go back and to finish up their education in America and, you know, and do what they like.
I missed rivers and pine trees, and I would actually bring pine cones and put them in plastic and pine needles from the ground and bring it to Saudi so that when I'd get homesick or miss nature, I would just open the bag and smell the pine.
I miss the organization in terms of traffic. That's one of the things. The second thing, which is really superficial, but I do miss the order. But I do miss my family. My mom and dad are there. My brother is there. So that's one of the things. But other than that, you know, this is our home now. We consider Saudi our home. I've had 2 children here. So this is, you know, we probably will never go back.
I miss the greenery. I miss just the open landscape of nothing but grass, greenery, trees. I miss snow. It's been so many years. I think 8 years since I've seen snow.
How organized America is and how systematic everything goes. But other than that, and I miss the military as well. I wish my family was here in Saudi. I mean, I don't wish I was there with them. I mean, I would like to visit and I want to see them, but I wish they could come here because, you know, I miss them.
يعني لو قيل لي يعني go back and change anything, I wouldn't change anything. يعني الحمد لله everything was يعني was done in the best way that it can reflect to our future.
My friend.
There is no bad or wrong or best place in the world. Everywhere is a good and bad. You just need to understand, try to stand in another person's shoes. That's it. That's it. But it would be really less conflicts in the world.
I grew up in the United States, and that's the superpower of the world right now. I was a Christian, and I lived in a Christian land, and then I became Muslim, and then I moved to a Muslim land. I mean, where the birthplace of Islam. So I feel that I've been blessed to experience this, and then I studied French, and I lived in France, and I'm Italian, and I've been to Italy, and so I think Allah has blessed me subhanahu wa ta'ala, in many ways, and I've gotten to enjoy the world in a beautiful way. And like I said, if you keep your mind open and your heart open, then that's the best thing. You know, you can't just go by what you see on TV, you can't just go by what you read. You have to meet people, and everyone's different. It doesn't matter where they're from, you know, it doesn't matter. I think Allah has blessed me, subhanahu wa ta'ala, in many ways, and I've gotten to enjoy the world in a beautiful way.
So today I stand where they say I belonged, in your country, because in mine I've been wronged.
Sometimes I feel like I'm a Muslim without a home, you know, because, you know, I'm not an Arab, I'm not Saudi, you know, but I'm a Muslim, and I want to be with my brothers. I want to live with my brothers.
You can't really identify with anybody. Like, I feel I only identify with people who are exactly like me. Half Saudi, half American.
We all are kind of exploring in ourselves, what is our culture? Where exactly do we fit? And I think a lot of us are sort of between cultures.
I think Allah has blessed me, subhanahu wa ta'ala, in many ways, and I've gotten to enjoy the world in a beautiful way.
So today I stand where they say I belonged, in your country, because in mine I've been wronged.
Sometimes I feel like I'm a Muslim without a home, you know, because, you know, I'm not an Arab, I'm not Saudi, you know, but I'm a Muslim, and I want to be with my brothers. I want to live with my brothers.
You can't really identify with anybody. Like, I feel I only identify with people who are exactly like me. Half Saudi, half American.
We all are kind of exploring in ourselves, what is our culture? Where exactly do we fit? And I think a lot of us are sort of between cultures.
C'est